What's going on there, everyone? Well, I'm going to show you a reason why you can't believe hardly anything you hear. From today, from Newsweek, more Americans approve impeaching Trump. Said Congress is doing a good job in a new poll. Let's read just a little bit. I don't want to get into the whole story because it's rehashing a bunch of other stuff. Americans' approval of Congress has climbed. At the same time, support for Donald Trump impeachment has risen, according to a Gallup poll released Wednesday morning. 52% of Americans say they want Trump to be impeached by the House of Representatives and removed from office by the Senate, the poll found. The findings from Gallup align with rising support for impeachment proceedings noted by other recent polls. At the same time, the organization found that Americans' approval of Congress has risen 7 percentage points from the last month, rising to 25% from 18%. Despite the increasing support for impeachment of Trump, the poll found that the president's approval rating had only budged slightly, falling 1 percentage point from September. Gallup also found noteworthy movement among independents. 55% of independents say they support Trump's impeachment and removal from office, a jump from 46% in June. Just 6% of Republicans backed Trump's impeachment and removal, a percentage point decrease from 4 months ago. And 87% of Republicans say they approve of the president's handling of the office, and a figure that many say reflects the political bifurcation of the country. All right. So, okay, this is a Gallup poll. But if we switch over here to the Pluralist, they have a completely contradictory poll. Support for impeachment falls nationwide, polls show. Okay, so let's read a little bit of this. The October 14th 15 opinion poll released on Tuesday found that 43% of adults in the United States believe that Trump should be impeached, down 2 points from a similar poll last week. Another 42% said he should not be impeached, and 14% say they were not sure. Americans had expressed a stronger interest in the last month in sanctioning the president and possibly removing him from office, though congressional impeachment after a government whistleblower revealed that Trump may have misused the power of his office to help his chances at winning re-election, which is not true. That didn't happen. He was asking a country in which we have some document or treaty or some sort where they can help us weed out corruption, and we can do the same for them. That's what he was doing. Didn't have nothing to do. I mean, who cares that Biden's... So, what I get really worried about is the fact that just because Biden is running means he's untouchable. We just want an investigation. That's all. We're not saying... I'm personally not saying Biden or them did anything wrong, even though Biden himself admitted that it was a quid pro quo situation happening. And his son just came out recently in an interview and admitted that he made a bad judgment call. And it was kind of funny last night at the debate that Biden said, "I trust my son's judgment." Well, your son came out and said he had poor judgment of the situation, so that didn't look good. That wasn't a good look, Mr. Biden. But as you can see, these polls, they're not making a whole lot of sense together. These polls were released one right after the other, and they're contradictory to each other. So what does that mean? Stop paying attention to these polls, people. The closest poll that's ever gotten most things close to being very accurate would be Rasmussen when it comes to Trump. For some reason, they really know how to figure it all to where it's true. It's kind of weird. I don't know their criteria for their polls really, but they seem to be doing something right. All these other polls seem to be missing pretty hard. So, with these two contradictory polls, which one's correct? Probably neither. Probably neither. We don't know. They don't know. I'd like to know all their criteria for these polls, where they're being polled at. Are these being polled in cities? Are they being polled all over the country? You know, are these telephone polls? Are these mail polls? We need to know this stuff, because I don't trust any poll that is from cities, big cities. Because big cities are always lean heavily Democrat. So I don't feel we're going to get, you know, an honest, true answer from those polls, just because they're going to be one-sided no matter how you look at it. But just don't believe them. Don't trust the polls until numerous polls come out. I'm talking about more than 5, you know. If more than 5 are starting to say the same thing, you know, that's the aggregate. Then we can take that aggregate and probably get a more realistic view of what's going on. But when it's just a couple singular polls and they're both sitting here and contradicting each other, you know that the truth is somewhere in the middle, most likely. But as we can see, we're never going to get a good answer from these polls. Do your own research. Use your own mind and your own heart to make your decisions, people. Don't go on the polls. Don't go on what you see on TV. We know the media is just full of nonsense. We had 2 more stories in the last week come out about how, who was it? CNN's whistleblower showed that they just have a complete bias, which I don't know if you can consider that person a technical whistleblower either. I think what they did kind of was illegal. I'm not sure, though. I have to do a little bit more research on that. But I think the way they went about it was semi-illegal. But I want to say ABC had an issue. They had to retract a story. I mean, come on. We're not getting the truth from the media. We're not getting truths from these polls. Do your own research, people. As much as it pains me to say it, watch these Democratic debates. Look at Trump's record. Look at what he's promoting, what he wants to do. Make your decisions that way. Make your decisions that way. Because we're not going to get anything good out of these polls. At least for now. But yeah, just wanted to state and show that from day to day, no one knows what's going on. The pollsters don't know what's going on. The politicians don't know what's going on. The DNC, the RNC, they don't quite know what's going on. What I see, though, is Donald Trump he's on fire, man. The guy's on fire. And you know how I know he's doing something right? Because he's making Republicans, these neocons, mad, and he makes the whole Democratic Party just lose their mind. I mean, they are crumbling. But he even makes the neocons and stuff like that mad, which I personally love, because I can't really stand the neocons. They are warmongers. They're archaic in my book. I think they need to move on. But in time, we'll get them out of here, and we'll get newer conservatives with better values and better foreign policy thoughts, you know, because I don't like neocons' foreign policy. They just want to go to war with everybody. And, you know, and that's one of the reasons why I like some of the things Tulsi Gabbard says. But I also love the things that the president says, because he's an anti-war person. He doesn't believe in American interventionism, and I'm all for that, because why? Why spread our troops around and all of our equipment around to be destroyed or whatever? You know, why? We're one nation. What about all these other nations? Why can't they do more? You know, this is one thing that our president is always fighting for, too, is to get other nations to do more. But I digress, because I'm going off into a separate tangent. Don't listen to the polls, people. They don't know what they're talking about yet. It's still way too far away, way too far off. This impeachment thing is just a big nothing. Nancy Pelosi came out herself and said she is not going to recommend a vote or anything, because this isn't a formal impeachment. This isn't. They're going about this in a completely unprecedented way, and it's going to backfire in their faces. It's going to backfire. and I can't wait to see it. It'll put a big smile on my face and many of your faces also, I assume. But I'd love to hear your comments as always, and like, share, and subscribe. I will catch you all on the flip side.